Hi guys and welcome to this, our lesson on expanding algebraic expressions. My goodness. Now again, this is basically building on the stuff we've done before. My name is Darren from Maths Guru. Hopefully you've been watching my other two videos. If not, don't worry about it. They are available on maffsguru.com. Free to sign up, absolutely there for you to download the notes and all that type of stuff. Now, what are we dealing with? I'm going to build on the stuff I did last lesson. But again, if you're interested, here's the stuff we're going to do. Pause the video if you want to, have a look over and go, all right, is that important to me? Is that the stuff I'm doing at school? Or am I going to be doing it at school? It's up to you. Let's have a look. Recap of past learning. Algebra, 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 algebra. I know, you hate it. I am so sorry. No, oh, you love it. That's okay. Either you're going to love it or you hate it. It doesn't matter. It's in maths all the way through. It doesn't even matter even if you get to year 12 and you do general maths. There is algebra in it. And you've got to understand the language and the basics of how to do it. And that's what these first few videos are doing. They're showing you the basics. Now, in the previous videos, what did we do? We looked at collecting like terms. We looked at what like terms were, simplifying, evaluating, substituting, etc., etc. So we looked at some of the tricks that we can employ in BidMaths. Now we're going to expand algebraic expressions. And remember, an expression might be something as simple as x plus 4. That is an algebraic expression. And you're going to say, well, how on earth do I expand that? There's nothing there. I can't do x plus 4. We've already decided they're not like terms. Chill, it's coming. Now, if I was to ask you to do 5 times 23, I could have done a really, really challenging one. Well, the chances are you're going to do short multiplication. You're going to say, right, I've been told to do 23 there, and I'm going to do a 5 there, and I'm going to do a times there, and I'm going to draw a line. Yeah, and then because you've just been taught this and you've done it over and over and over again, because that's the way it's done, you're going to do the 5 times the 3. So the first thing we seem to be doing is 5 times 3. I'm just going to write that to one side for a moment. Well, what is 5 times 3? It's 15. What do? We put the 5 there. Now, you're going to hate me because I'm going to put the 1 down there. I know in Australia that really upsets everybody because for some random reason, you put it up here. No, it's weird. It goes... Anyway, stop. We can argue about this all day. I'm not going to argue. What do we do now? Well, we do this 5 times 2. But hold on a moment. What does that 2 stand for? Well, it's 20. So what we seem to be doing in a roundabout sort of way is 5 times 20, don't we? Well, okay, so go back to the basics, and I'll come back to this in a moment. 5 times 2 is 10. Add on the 1 gives me 11. So there we go, 11. So 23 times 5 is 115. I'm just going to fire up my calculator just to see. So let's do 23 times by 5, hit enter. Ooh, 115. I might have just said 111. My brain's a little bit fried today. If you don't worry about my calculator, by the way, it's fine. It's a very complicated calculator. So it would seem that actually, let's work out what each of these individual things were, because that's what I said. We seem to be doing 5 times 3, and we seem to be doing 5 times 20. So if we do 5 times 3, I get 15. If I do 5 times 20, that's nice and easy. I can do that in my head. And I add them together. Oh, well, that 23 seems to be there. So basically, I seem to be doing 5 times 3 plus 5 times 20. And I know that 20 can be split up into 3 plus 20. And both of those seem to be multiplied by 5. OMG. If I do this backwards, it appears that my 5 times 23, and again, between the number and that bracket is a times, I can split the 23 up into 3 plus 20, or 20 plus 3, and then I seem to multiply the 3 by the 5 and the 20 by the 5. And basically, that is called the distributive law. And you're like, what? I'll do a few examples, don't worry about it. Anything outside of a set of brackets can multiply everything inside a set of brackets to help you expand. So if I had, for example, 6 times 24, let's do that, all right? I can actually write that as 6 times 20 plus 4. And everything outside of the set of brackets multiplies everything inside of the set of brackets. So I can write that as 6 times 20 plus 6 times 4. Well, we know that 6 times 20 is 120. 6 times 4 is 12, 24, 48. Add those together, I get 168. Oh my goodness, This is brilliant. But the great thing is it also works with algebra. So if I had something like 2 brackets x plus 4. Now, we're not going to get a numerical answer. But what I'm now going to do is this process of multiplying what's outside the set of brackets by what's inside the set of brackets is called expanding brackets. Oh, really? Apparently. So I can take this 2 and multiply it by the x. Now, when I did this at school, I always did arrows over the top to remind me what I was multiplying. Yeah, you didn't need to, but it was very visual. It was like, oh, I can do this. So let's say, what did we got? We got 2 times x. Well, if I've got 2 x's, then it's literally that. It's 2 x's. And then I've got 2 times plus 4. Now, I say plus 4 because I don't want to forget my signs. But 2 times plus 4 is going to give me plus 8. And there you go. You've just expanded a set of brackets using the distributive law. Now, you are going to be doing this over and over again. What about if I had 3b minus 5, for example, right? What are we going to do here? Well, again, to expand this, whatever is outside the set of the brackets, multiply by what's in. So I'm going to do, let's put my pen on. So what are we going to have there? Well, 3 times b is 3 b's. So I'm just going to write 3b. And then I've got to make sure I do 3 times negative 5. Ah, that's a plus and a minus becomes a minus. And 3 times 5 becomes 15. Again, if you don't understand this, do lots of examples. And again, don't worry if you get them wrong. Seek out your teacher. They're not going to judge you. I promise you, they shouldn't judge you. And if they do, come and have a chat with me. I'll do what I can to help you out, yeah? But the point of it is, make the mistakes because that's training your brain to get it right, all right? So let's do some examples. What have we got here? 3 bracket x plus 4. There's my first bracket. Notice I always do an equals down. All right, always do my working out down the page. So what I'm going to do, 3 times x, well, 3 times x is 3x, because remember, if I was to write it out longhand as 3 times x, well, anything between, if there's something got a kissy, you can join together and just become 3x. What about this? 3 times plus 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and they are both a plus, because it's plus 3 times plus 4, and a plus of plus is a and there we go. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. What do we got? 5 and in brackets x minus 11. All right. What is outside the bracket? A 5 times the x is going to give me 5x. Let's do the next one. A 5 times minus 11. That's got to be minus, and 11 times 5 is 55. Ka-ching, there we go. What about the next one? Minus 2. X minus 5. Now again, it gets tricky with trying to trip you up. And a lot of people go, I don't like minus signs. Well, okay, I can't help you there. You've got to get used to them, because if you give up maths in year 9, it gets very, very gross after that, right? Just power through. Make the mistakes. Your brain will get better. Right, here we go. So what do we got? Minus 2 times x. Well, again, if I wrote that out as, he says, putting the pen on, minus 2 times x, they're just joined together. That becomes minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 5. Well, a minus. Got a lot of minuses in there, because a minus and a minus becomes a plus. So I've taken care of the minus here and the minus here. So I just do the 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Ka-ching, minus 2x plus 10. Lots of these examples coming. You can do them. What about this one? Expand the following. Doesn't matter if they have 2 sets of letters. It's exactly the same. We're just making it look a little bit more tricky. What's outside the brackets? A 4. What's inside the brackets? An x. I can multiply those together. 4 times x is 4x. What have I got here? 4 times plus 3y. Well, that's a plus there. There's a plus there. So I can automatically write a plus. Now I'm going to do 4 times 3y. Well, that's 4 times 3 times y. And if you remember from the previous video, we can do the 4 times the 3. It's 12. So that's going to become 12y. Now, the more you do these questions, the more you suddenly start seeing the shortcuts. You're like, hold on a moment. 4 times 3 was the 12, and the y was just there. Absolutely. What about the next one? Oh, getting tricky now. So what have we got? Minus 2x, and in brackets, 4x minus 3. Right, what's outside the brackets? Well, we got minus 2x. Doesn't matter. The rules work exactly the same. I've got minus 2x times 4x. Right, let's do that over here. Minus 2x times 4x. Well, what's between the minus 2 and the x? Kissy kissy. What's between the 4 and the x? Kissy kissy. Oh, okay. So minus 2 times x times 4 times x. Ah, hold on. Previous video. Put all the numbers together, put the letters together. Okay, so minus 2 times 4 times x times x. Well, okay, now I can do this. Well, I know that minus 2 times 4 gives me minus 8. And I know that x times x is x with a floaty 2. Ka-ching! Come on, we can do this. What about the next one? Minus 2x times minus 3. Minus 2x times minus 3. Well, that's minus 2 times minus 3 times x. Well, what is minus 2 times minus 3? Well, a minus and a minus becomes a plus. So the first thing I'm going to do there is put a plus. And 2 times 3 is 6. And the x, oh, just stays there. And again, I know I'm probably making this sound complicated, and hopefully I'm not. Stop the video, go back and watch it again. Hopefully it makes sense. But again, practice, practice, and practice again. More complicated examples. Let's get through these. Expand the following and collect like terms. Right, there are tricks in all of this, and Barry loves tricks. When we expand, we are only interested in looking at the thing in front of the brackets. And in this situation, that is the minus 3, not the 2. The 2 is actually there at the front trying to trick you a little bit, because in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the 2 down, then I'm going to expand my brackets. I'm going to do minus 3 times that x. Minus 3 times x, oh, I can do that. Is minus 3x. What can I do next? Well, I have to do the minus 3 times the minus 4. Minus 3 times minus 4. And a minus makes it a plus. And 3 times 4 is 12. Now, it says expand and collect like terms. So the question is, are there any like terms in this one? Yes, because I've got a minus 3x. There's no more x terms, but what I do have is a 2 and plus 12. Remember, they've got no letters in them. So they themselves are like terms. They're constants. And what is 2 plus 12? It is 24. So the minus 3x just stays there. 2 plus 12 is plus, I think I just said 24, didn't I? I think I times them. 2 plus 12 is actually 14. Right? My brain is really powering forward here. So, first example done, minus 3x plus 14. What about the next one? That looks a bit challenging. Nah, we can do this. We've got 2 sets of brackets. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to expand that bracket first. And then we're going to expand that bracket. Then we're going to collect all of my like terms together. So let's do this first bracket first. I've got 3 times x. Whoops. It's going to give me 3x. What have I got next? I've got 3 times 2y, or plus 2y. Well, 3 times plus 2 is plus 6. And the y just stays there, because 2y times 3 is 6. Right. Hold on a moment. I've got a minus sign. There doesn't seem to be any number in front of that bracket. Oh, yes, there is. It's a 1. So that there is minus 1 times 3x. Well, minus 1 times 3x must give me minus 3x. What have we got next? Minus 1 times plus y. Minus and a plus make a minus, and the 1 times the y would just give me the y. Right, I've expanded. What do I need to do now? Collect like terms. So let's look at this. I've got 3x there. Are there any other x terms? There are. Minus 3x. Hold on, 3x minus 3x, that's going to go. Disappear. I've got plus 6y and minus 1y. So 6y is minus a y gives me 5y. So in fact, that simplified is just going to give me 5y. Why? There's too many y's in it. Because I don't need to write, I don't write down 0x, do I? Because 0 times anything just disappears. Let's do the next one. How are they tricking us here? No, same. They've got one set of brackets and another set of brackets. So let's do the first set of brackets first. I'm going to do 2 times x and then 2 times plus 3. All right, so 2 times x is 2x. 2 times plus 3, well, that's plus 6. That's positive 6. All right, what's the next one? I've got plus 3 times x and plus 3 times plus 2. Right, so plus 3 times x is plus 3x, and plus 3 times plus 2 is going to give me plus 6. Right, let's collect like terms. Have we got any other x terms? Well, there's a 2x and a plus 3x. That's going to give me 5x. And what have I got next? Right, I've got a plus 6 and another plus 6. 6 plus 6 is going to give me plus 12. Wow, zipping through this. One more of these. Do a couple more examples after this, and then we will call it a day for this video. Right, what have we got here? Minus 2 times 2x, minus 2 times minus 4. So we've got a minus and a minus we've got to be careful of there. Minus 3 times 3x, and a minus 3 times plus 5. Right, so let's do this first. Minus 2 times 2x. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. And the x stays there because I haven't got anything with it. What's next? Minus 2 times minus 4. Well, a minus and a minus gives me plus, and the 2 times the 4 gives me 8. Right, I've expanded the first bracket. Whew, getting there. You know you can pause this and see if you can get there first. Oh, competition. It's a race. That's not really a race. Next one, minus 3 times 3x. Well, minus 3 times 3 gives me minus 9, and then there's just the x, we've got nothing else with it. And I got minus 3 times plus 5, which gives me minus 15. All right, what do we do now? Collect like terms. I got minus 4x, minus 9x. Well, I got minus 4, I'm taking another 9 away. Gives me minus 13x's. Notice how I always do my x terms first, or my letter terms first. I've got plus 8, minus 15. What's that going to be? Plus 8 minus 15 will give me minus 7. And there we go. Again, there can be so many of these questions, right? Practice really does make perfect. Don't worry if you get them wrong. Get them wrong, try and work out why you got them wrong. See your teacher, have a chat. They will make you better. And if you get this stuff right now, the rest of this year is going to be amazing. Right, how do we make this complicated? Well, we try and give you real world problems. First thing here says, find the area of the following shapes. Oh my goodness, that's a quadrilateral. How do you find the area of a quadrilateral? Oh, it's that times that. It's this length here times that length there. So basically I'm going to do x plus 1 times by 2. But the trick to the question is, a lot of people will do this. They'll go x plus 1 times 2. That's not right, because at the moment, the only thing that's multiplying by the 2 is that 1. No, we actually, anything when you have algebra or more than one term, you put it in brackets. Oh, well, hold on. I'm going to actually get rid of that times by 2 there and put it at the front, because I can put it at the front of the bracket. We've just been doing those. It's the same. Absolutely. So in this situation here, I'm going to do 2 times x and 2 times plus 1. So 2 times x gives me 2x, and 2 times plus 1 gives me 2. And that there is the area of that shape. And I know it's not a number, don't worry about it. It's an expression to help me find the area when they give me the value of x later on. What about the next one? It's exactly the same, isn't it? We've just changed the numbers. Numbers. So our area is that, which is 2x minus 3, times that, which is x. So I'm now going to do, let's delete that for a moment. Let's do my pen. I'm going to do 2x minus 3, we're going to put it in brackets, times by x. Nah, we can move that times by x to the front. Ooh! X times 2x. Well, let's just do that. X times 2x is the same as x times 2 times x. And what do? We move the numbers first and the letters next. So we get 2 times x times... hold on a moment. We know what x times x is. That can be rewritten as 2 times x with a floaty 2, and then join them back together again to give me 2x squared. Right. So that becomes 2x squared. All right, so when I'm doing x times 2x, it gives me 2x squared. X times minus 3 is just minus 3x. Now again, I could do lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of these examples, but to be honest with you, I can't. You have to just practice and do them and have a go. But as you can see, because I've grown larger, that is pretty much the end of this lesson. Thanks very much for watching. Sign up to YouTube, follow me on TikTok. Go to maffsguru.com, sign up, download these notes, tell your mates, tell your teachers. Yeah, I'm done. All right, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in another video. If not, please take care and stay safe.